What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As I mentioned the other day, decided I'd do a bit of a head unit review and sort of reveal. This unit was got off AliExpress. They have several different variations. If I can bring up my phone. There's a $60 version. You can see it there. $64 version. So that one is 1 gig RAM and 32 gig of storage with a fan. Also comes with a reverse camera, microphone, and some Pro Tools. Next one, 64. Is it the same one? The same one. Right, so the next one here. I have a 3 gig of RAM and 32 gig of storage with a fan. This one's Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can see the prices there. Next one's 4 gig of RAM, 64 gig of storage with a fan. These are the 10-inch ones. 6 gig of RAM and 128 gig of storage. 215. Next one up is the cheap 10.3 inch, which is quad core, 1 gig and 32 gig. Next you've got octacore, 2 gig and 32. Another octacore, 4 gig at 64. And the octacore 6 gig of RAM, 128 gig of storage. That's that one. Oh, that one's back again. So this is the one this is one. So their most expensive one is octacore, 6 gig of RAM and 128 gig of storage. It's $237. Was $365 apparently. I think it's about $30 freight. And that was about it. So we'll just fire it up here. Oh, I got the wrong key in. That's clever. Let's try a different key. As you can see, it does come with the surround. So this bit here, it's all molded. You might be able to see in the back here, it's like a floating, light down there, like a floating screen design. You'll have to see this poor light. It doesn't interfere with the shifter at all. It's right there. Probably got about, you'd have to be driving with your fingers out to smack it, which you wouldn't do anyway. So I'll fire it up. I haven't fired this thing up in a little while. So there's your home screen. Just your basic sort of thing. As you can see, everything's all sort of correct on here. Swipe across. You've got clock, Bluetooth music, CarMate, which is an app. It's got a USB 2, OBD2, not USB, OBD2 port that you plug into your plug, which can read certain things, like ambient temperature, battery voltage, fuel consumption, fuel remaining, and some other things like that, like your lights over here. But this vehicle, I've still yet to suss out exactly the best OBD2 plug to get, because apparently these are in that real sort of grey area, being that it's like, I guess technically OBD 2.05. It's not OBD1 and it's not fully OBD2. I haven't played around with the different ones yet, but apparently they are out there. So as you can see up here, we do actually have battery voltage, Bluetooth, battery level of your phone, and your time up here. So we hit back and scroll back across over here. So here you've got the built-in Google Maps, which I don't have the aerial plugged into because I'm not really using it, so that's why it probably won't come up there. Another thing I need to do, so I thought it was going to be wired CarPlay and Android Auto. Turns out it's not. It's wireless. Alright, it's all connected to Android Auto. So what you need to do is you need to connect to your phone's Wi-Fi hotspot. Then you also need to connect to your phone via Bluetooth. Once you do that, then you go into here and go to T-Link 5, and it goes in there. So this is literally an Android tablet that's molded into the dash of a Satria, Vera, or Jumbuck. because they've all got the same fascia kit around here. I'm not playing that obviously because it's copyright and whatnot. So you've got Spotify all there, your phone, settings, etc. So it works exactly the same with an iPhone. I do have an iPhone as a work phone as well, and I've tested that. Works the same. Connect a little hotspot, then Bluetooth, and away you go. You don't really need to do that either. It does take a SIM card. You can put a SIM card in there. And then you've got different themes in here. I'm not connected to it because I'm on the hotspot, but you've got radio, full radio in here. As I said, your CarMate. Yeah, so you go into here. Now, because it is an Android tablet, you can download apps to it. I've downloaded my own Spotify onto here and signed in. Couldn't quite figure out how the Android Auto worked at first, so I was like, I'll just put Spotify on here and it'll be fine. One too far. There's another one of those, plug it into the OBD2 and you get data and you can run this screen. As I said, I haven't sussed that out just yet. Yes, exit. YouTube as well. So again, it's not doing it because of the Wi-Fi hotspot, but if I connected it to my house Wi-Fi, it'll work fine. I've done it before. Maps in here as well. Google itself, you can do checks. I'm yet to test it, but theoretically, I could download the Xbox app onto this tablet. Then, while I'm out at a meet, say, connect my Bluetooth controller to the screen and sit here and play Xbox games in my car. It would look terrible because it's on this tiny little screen, but still. I also got auxiliary inputs as well, which you can. There is an adapter for. There's two USB adapters, which you can plug something into that as well. And you change the boot animations. You go into a lot of settings there. Into the settings here, you've got the Wi-Fi's, display, brightness mode, wallpaper, themes. Change it to that theme, change a bunch of different themes. I like that one actually. I tried that one. There's more. Random and just straight up black. So generals, original aircon display. If you can, if your car's got digital aircon, you can connect it to that as well. Also has steering wheel controls. Obviously the GDIs did not have steering wheel controls because that's not a thing. Front radar display, reverse, so it also comes with a reverse camera, and this particular one also comes with a front camera. So I will run both eventually. Probably going to suss them out once I do we get the car resprayed. I have run the RCA and the trigger wire to the boot. I haven't figured out mounting yet because I don't want it to look sort of, just standing there and just looking terrible and whatnot. You got the voice options, language choice, count, system upgrades, developer options, etc. Go into the factory settings, and so as you can see here, this takes you into what settings you would normally find on an Android tablet. So as I said, it's like an Android tablet, and then it just runs this system here. I've tested the sound; it sounds pretty good. I do have a Blaupunk amp connected to my speakers, and I've tried it a few times and it sounds pretty good. Also has a mini DSP in here. Where did here. So you can really change all your settings up. I haven't gone into any of that, your surround sound, change where the sound's coming from, etc. to make it central. Bass boost settings, front, rear, the hertz, your zone, change your zone there, sub gain, sub frequencies, bass filter, front and rear, it's all in there. So it's a really good unit. A good mate of mine, Jack, gave me a little JVC, little sort of 7-inch typical double DIN unit that sat in there. And while it was fine, it wasn't actually like Android Auto or CarPlay. It was like MirrorLink, and I could never get it to work properly. So I was like, oh, I'll keep my eye out for something, you know, better. And while tossing up about getting, you know, $1,200 JV, like Kenwood units and stuff like that, I thought, do some digging around, and that's when a mate of mine, Craig, got me onto the AliExpress website, and this one in particular. And as I said, it just, you know, it's molded. Like, unfortunately, this is black. So what I might end up doing eventually is getting another fascia, another top fascia here from like a Jumbuck or something along that, or stock Satria, and then just putting that in there so the whole thing's black, or see if I can get this like hydro dipped or something, the same little silver with the little black dots in it. But for now, it's fine. It'll do. You know, car's not going to be on the road for a little bit yet, so not overly fussed about that. But yeah, pretty happy with it. All the features and functions that it has. I tested the one thing that went wrong was I tried to connect the reverse camera when I originally put it in, but it wasn't working. And after a bit of testing, I figured out that the wire that they'd given me, which was your standard trigger wire, so an RCA with a trigger wire attached to it that you added to the power when you put it in reverse, for whatever reason, that just didn't work. So I had another one lying around, so I went in and used that one, and it was all sweet. So back to that. Yeah, not exactly sure how to do the front camera, but I will figure that out as well when I get around to it. Pretty intuitive. It's like a little bit laggy here and there, but I mean, I'm just sitting in my garage, so we'll see when I start driving them around. And I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't have an actual volume control, which I would have preferred, or like a mute button or something like that. Yeah, I'm still pretty happy with how it's turned out. I'm happy. So yeah, you can see a bunch of different settings. Oops, there we go. Yeah, so that's about it really. Yeah, as I said, I would play something, but you know, copyright strikes, I don't really play music per se. It's just different themes, etc. Doesn't use a lot of power. I've been playing around with it probably for a total of about 20 minutes without starting the car, and it hasn't killed the battery yet. Yeah, as I said, pretty happy with how it all sort of, and you know, being an actual Android tablet, all of these windows are open that you can close. I mean, I don't know why you'd really sort of worry about that on a car head unit, but there you go. That's the head unit. I'll chuck links in the description for that particular head unit, and the seller's page on AliExpress, so you can have a look at that sort of stuff yourself. I'll show you the fascia units that it replaces. Oh, installation. Really easy. So for those of you that don't know, take your ashtray out. Smokes these days. There's one screw under here that comes in sort of at a diagonal like this, and then it literally just pops out. I can show you the top. It pops out. You pull your cup tray out, which, yes, mine works. I fixed it. I did some plastic welding and cut up bits of thick wire to do the droppers. So you just pull that out a little bit and then just grab it, you know, pop it like that. That's it. So because these are meant to be for a Wera, not the Satria, some of the top mounting holes here, just here, doesn't actually work because it sits against the bracket for the cup holder. I've tried swapping these screws out in here. It doesn't really seem to bump into it, so that's no big deal. And as you saw, well, you didn't see, but it took a little bit of effort to get it popped. One of the guys on the Facebook page also sent me a couple of these clips for free. You know, Kenneth sent me a couple of these clips, which mine were missing, sucky, and it just pops back in like that. Make sure the bottom's in as well. Wiring it up was really easy, being, you know, that it was actually built for this particular car. It came with the right wiring harness, so it literally just plugged in. There were two plugs in the back of this. One's for, you know, power accessories, and earth, etc. The other plug is for the speakers, which I'm not using because I'm not using the stock speaker wire. I'm using the amp, so it was just plugged in the RCA at the back there, and then run it to the boot into the speaker amp. Yeah, so that's about it. I'll show you the bit that it sort of replaces. The stock ones have, you know, some of them had the, was it the Blaupunk? I think it was Blaupunk, correct me if I'm wrong. The original stock ones. There's horrible, they were doubled in, but they only had a tiny little LCD screen on them. And most of them were actually singled in, and they slid into the first part, the first top bit, and the bottom bit was basically just empty. There was nothing behind it. This head unit was only about that thick. It's really nothing to it. You don't need to these days with all the technology around. So that was a bit of a bonus. And I currently have the USB plug sitting in the glove box. It does charge your phone if you connect it to that, but slowly. So I think I'll just get a like a USB-C, you know, cigarette lighter plug that I'll just put in here, and just so I can charge my phone USB-C, so it's actually charges faster. Yeah, that's about it really. I mean, there's nothing really too much more to show. I do recommend it. Yeah, if anybody's running anything else, let me know. Anybody's found anything a little bit better that they think works much better. But yeah, pretty happy with this. I think it was all of about, I think it was about $350. And the shipping was a little bit funny. The guys were a bit like, the shipping updates weren't updating, and I had to sort of message the guys a couple of times, and they are from China, but it did come from Singapore. So that was a little bit annoying, but we got there in the end. But yeah, they were very helpful with trying to figure out, because there was nothing I could really find online about how to connect with the Android Auto. But yeah, it turns out through a little bit of, you know, loss of translation, because Chinese to Australian, that yeah, you need to connect Wi-Fi hotspot your phone and Bluetooth. So once you do that, as I said, you go in here and go into T-Link 5 and away you go. Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, it's, you know, I'm pretty happy with it, and definitely keen to try out the whole, you know, connect the Xbox controller to it and see if I can play while I'm out and about driving around. Not while I'm driving around, when I'm sitting up playing at meets and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, just wanted to touch on this head unit and sort of give you a look, and so in case you were wondering whether you wanted to grab one or whatever, you can you now know a little bit better about it. Drop some comments down if you've got any questions or anything like that. If I can answer them, I'll answer them. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe if you want to. You don't have to, but you know, you're here, you might as well. Yeah, that's about it. Hopefully I'll get started on these brakes and the suspension soon, and I'll bring you along for that. Alright, take it easy. Hooroo.